They say blood is thicker than water, but when my sister pushed my 12-year-old daughter into a puddle on Thanksgiving Day and called her a pig in front of our whole family, I didn't scream. I didn't fight. My husband just took my hand, and we started quietly tearing the entire family empire apart, brick by brick. This isn't a story about revenge through chaos. It's about the kind of revenge that comes from finally using the power you never knew you had. Thanksgiving has always been complicated in my family. You'd think growing up in a wealthy East Coast household would give us emotional intelligence. But no. What we had was image. And control. My family owns Hargrave Holdings, real estate, shipping, old money that built half of Boston. My sister Claire always knew how to play the game. Perfect grades at Wellesley. Perfect boyfriend from Harvard Law. Perfect everything that made our parents beam. She learned early that beauty and ruthlessness got rewarded. I was the emotional one. Sensitive. Quiet. The daughter who chose social work over business school. The disappointment. I married Ben at 24. Had my daughter Harper at 26. Built a life that was warm and stable. Ben was gentle in a way that confused my family. He listened. He remembered birthdays. He helped strangers. Claire called him Charity Case Ben. Our family treated kindness like weakness, so every year I'd endure these holidays, dressing Harper in her best outfits, hoping someone would see her for who she was, smart, compassionate, a child who drew pictures for our doorman. But that year I should have trusted my gut when Harper asked if we could skip Thanksgiving. Why, sweetheart? Aunt Claire always looks at me like I did something wrong. I told her she was imagining things. I was wrong. It started with the usual passive aggression. My mother criticizing Harper's dress. My father asking Ben when he'd get a real job. Claire showing off her 5-carat engagement ring. Some people settle, others strive for excellence. She looked directly at me. Then came family photos by the oak tree. Harper had made Claire a bracelet. Glass beads from Michael's, blue and silver. Claire's favorite colors. She'd spent hours on it, adding a charm that said, "Best Aunt." Harper walked over with that hopeful smile. "I made this for you, Aunt Claire. For your engagement." Claire took it, held it up like it was contaminated. This is for children, little girls who don't know better." Harper's face fell. "Do you see this ring? This is what real jewelry looks like." Harper's eyes filled with tears. "I just wanted to..." That's when Claire shoved her. Hard. Harper stumbled backward, fell into the shallow puddle under the tree. Her dress soaked through. Mud splashed up her legs, into her hair. She sat there stunned, water dripping from her chin. Claire laughed loud enough for everyone to hear. "Guess the piglet found her mud. That's where little pigs belong." Then people started laughing. My mother, my father, my cousin. Uncle Robert said kids will be kids, as if a 29-year-old pushing a child was playground behavior. I stood frozen, watching my daughter in that puddle, watching my family laugh. Harper looked up at me, tears mixing with muddy water, waiting for me to protect her. But I couldn't move. 28 years of conditioning held me in place. Then Ben moved. He knelt in the mud, wrapped his coat around Harper, picked her up. "We're done here." His voice was quiet but carried across the yard. He looked at me with those kind eyes. "Evelyn, we're never coming back." Nobody tried to stop us. Nobody apologized. My mother called after us. "You're being dramatic. It was just a little water. Just a little water." That night, Harper cried herself to sleep. She kept apologizing. For the bracelet. For ruining Thanksgiving. For being embarrassing. My 12-year-old thought she was the problem. I wanted to storm back. Shake Claire until she understood. But Ben stopped me. "Don't give them what they want. They want drama. They want you to lose control so they can say you're the emotional one." He was right. We stepped back. Stop playing their game. See what happens when we stop giving them what they need. What do they need? You. You're the scapegoat. Without you to pick on, they'll turn on each other. Over the next weeks, we went completely silent. Didn't return calls, skipped my father's birthday, declined Claire's engagement party. My mother sent frantic emails, "What will people think?" Claire texted, "Stop being dramatic over a puddle." A puddle, that's all it was to her. By February, other relatives started reaching out privately. What Claire did was wrong. I should have said something. My heart broke for Harper. They've needed a reality check for years. People who'd been silent were admitting what they really thought. Meanwhile, Harper started blooming. She joined the school newspaper. Ben took her camping. We had quiet Sundays without family drama. One evening, Harper asked the question I'd been dreading. "Mom, am I really like a pig?" I knelt to her level. "You are brilliant and kind. You remember people's names and ask about their families. Then why did everyone laugh?" "Because they're scared. Scared that if they stood up for you, Aunt Claire might turn on them next." That's sad. Yeah, it is. I feel sorry for them. That's when I knew we'd raised her right. 6 months later, Claire's wedding invitation arrived. Hand-delivered. Gold foil. With a note. "Hope you've finally grown up enough to rejoin the family." Ben laughed. I didn't respond. Instead, I called my grandfather's lawyer. "Mr. Wellington, this is Evelyn. I need to discuss grandfather's will, the real one." Here's what my family never knew about me. While they played social games, I got my MBA at night school. While Claire perfected her mean girl routine, I studied business law. While they assumed I was just the emotional disappointment, I was reading every piece of family documentation, including my grandfather's real will. The version everyone knew left the business to the family. Vague language. But the real will was specific. Controlling interest shall pass to the family member who demonstrates true character and protects the innocent. For 20 years, the board assumed that meant my father, but the will included review provisions. If the heir failed character requirements, control could transfer. Mr. Wellington had been watching, documenting, waiting. "Ms. Evelyn," he said when we met. "I've been waiting for this conversation." He opened a thick file. "Your grandfather valued protecting children above all." The Thanksgiving incident confirmed what I'd suspected for years. He slid documents across his desk. "You're not just Evelyn the disappointment. You're Evelyn Hargrave, heir to the Hargrave fortune, controlling shareholder." I stared at the papers that changed everything. "I also know about Marcus Ashworth's creative bookkeeping." He continued. "What kind?" "Skimming development funds. 3 years' worth. Small amounts, but it adds up to $200,000. He showed me the evidence. Bank records, transfer documents. "Your options, Ms. Evelyn, are limitless." The transfer happened quietly. Just paperwork. On Monday, I became CEO of Hargrave Holdings. I started with Marcus. Terminated for cause. I told HR. Embezzlement. Turn the evidence over to the DA. Marcus was arrested Thursday. 3 days before the wedding. Claire called, panicked. "This has to be a mistake." "It's not a mistake, Claire." "Fix this, call Daddy." "I can't fix this, and I wouldn't if I could." "This is about Thanksgiving. You're doing this for revenge." "This is about justice. He stole $200,000. This is revenge." "Maybe, but he's still a thief." The wedding was canceled. Claire couldn't access her trust fund without board approval. My approval. Next came my father. Emergency board meeting, Monday morning. He walked into the conference room, saw me in his usual seat. "Evelyn, you're in my seat." "No, Dad, I'm in my seat." I slid the legal documents across the table. "I'm assuming control as rightful heir under grandfather's will." His face went white as he read. "This is impossible. I've run this company for 20 years. You managed it. There's a difference." Mr. Wellington cleared his throat. "The will has always been clear, Charles. Character requirements. Recent events demonstrated failure to meet those standards. You're basing this on a children's squabble. I'm basing this on a pattern of behavior that contradicts everything your father stood for. I stood up. You're stepping down. Effective today. You can't fire me. It's not your company. It never was. You were a steward. And you failed. He stormed out. But he didn't fight it. His lawyers said he didn't have a case. The news broke everywhere. Hargrave Holdings names new CEO in family shakeup. My mother lost her charity board positions when I pulled funding. Uncle Robert's contracts were terminated. One by one, their lives of unearned privilege crumbled. I called a final family meeting. They came because they had to. Their livelihoods depended on me now. There's been confusion about who runs this family, I said calmly. I slid copies of the will across the table. Grandfather said character matters. Protecting children matters more than protecting image. You all failed that test. Claire cried her pretty tears. I made a mistake. I'll do anything. You made a choice. You chose to hurt my daughter. I'm sorry. You're sorry you got caught. I stood up. Here's what happens. Claire anger management and therapy. 1 year. I get progress reports. Evelyn, you can't. I can. Dad, you write Harper a real apology. Take responsibility. Mom, you volunteer with bullied children. Learn what real charity looks like. I picked up my purse. The company will be fine. We're expanding into clean energy. But your free ride is over. I walked to the door, turned back. Claire, I found Harper's bracelet in the trash. She cried when she saw it there. Claire went white. Remember that next time you think about what family means. 2 years later, Harper was thriving. Student newspaper editor. Confident and strong. That's when Claire texted, I finished therapy. Can I apologize to Harper? We met at a coffee shop. Claire looked different. Humbler. She apologized. Really apologized. Harper listened, then said, I forgive you. But I need you to know something. What? I never needed you to like my bracelet. I just needed you not to hurt me. Claire cried real tears. I was so worried about being perfect, I forgot how to be good. They didn't hug, but it was a start. My parents earned their way back slowly. Very slowly. Uncle Robert never did. Some bridges stay burned. But here's the thing about real power. It's not about destroying people. It's about protecting the people you love, creating consequences for those who would harm them, teaching everyone that kindness isn't weakness. It's strength they never learned to recognize. Harper is 15 now. She writes stories about brave girls who stand up for others. She knows her worth, uses her voice, protects kids who can't protect themselves. That's the legacy that matters. Not money, not power, not the family name. The knowledge that we raised a daughter who makes the world kinder. That's the kind of revenge that lasts. The kind that builds something better from the ashes of what was broken.